Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jonathan. Today I'm bringing you a video talking about how my life has literally just changed in just one day. Like literally in one day, my entire, what I'm going to be doing in the Air Force for the next 6 months, and if not for the rest of my time in the Air Force, everything has just changed. And you're probably wondering, like, how does that even happen? What are you even talking about? Oh, here's some stupid clickbait about some stupid stuff. When actually, my entire job in the Air Force just changed, and I wasn't expecting it, and this happens sometimes. So I'm gonna dive into it and we're gonna talk about that. So basically, there was a person who I'm friends with, just a coworker, who used to work in my shop and was a server administrator with us. And she got pulled out of our shop to go do another job as well, and be put on a team of developers and programmers and stuff like that. And basically they do automation, and I don't really know that much about it, so I don't want to like sound stupid talking about it, so I'm going to try my best. But they work with a lot of Linux. It's called CentOS. It's like CentOS 7 or something like that, and they do a lot of coding and different languages and stuff like that, right? And right now they're working on automating a lot of things to kind of make the DevOps process between developing something and putting it into an operational environment. They're trying to kind of make the time from the idea to the time of it actually being deployable and deployed as short as they possibly can, so that when somebody has an idea to develop an application or some software or whatever, that they can get it done and do it the best that they possibly can as fast as they can. So that's the concept. That is basically what she does. Now, she got pulled for that job like a year ago or something like that, and she's been doing it and she likes it, and that's all great, right? But our squadron, and all squadrons around our base, and I don't know how it is at other bases and stuff like that, I'm sure there's some sort of whole process that's very similar, but they need a certain amount of bodies to fill up the honor guard. We have a base honor guard, and basically honor guard they're the people that honor like the people who have died and they were veterans or retired or whatever it may be, and they're the ones that go to the funerals and they do the flag folding ceremonies and they shoot the guns in the air and they do all sorts of stuff like that, right? The very ceremonial sort of aspect of the Air Force. Every squadron needs to fill bodies there, and basically like this squadron will give 3 bodies, and they need 5 people from this squadron because it's a bigger squadron, or 2 people from a smaller squadron. Like we have a smaller squadron. I'm not sure how many people they needed, but she's been wanting to do that for quite a while, and I don't know if she got picked for it or if she volunteered for it or whatever the case may be, but she got pulled to do honor guard. That leaves an open position for her team that she's on, which is full of 4 people, and that basically that team needs to be full of 4 people, because the way that they do it is some sort of practice that is used in like the real DevOps world, where they work in pairs so that they're not reliant on one person. So if one person is coding or working on the computer or whatever the case may be, when that person dies for whatever reason, or ends up in the hospital or can't make it into work or whatever happens, then the person they were working with knows what they were doing, knows what they were working on, and knows how to continue to work to be successful in that area, and so that you're not completely relying on somebody and then they die. That would be terrible, but that's the reality of life. Sometimes you die because that's part of life, and then they have no idea what they're doing at work anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like fault tolerance in that aspect. And so they need 4 people on the team, and so I got picked for that. If you haven't put the pieces together yet, basically I'm going to be working on a team, developing whatever they need us to do, because I still don't completely understand it, because I'm a server administrator. Everything that I know in this IT world that I work in is server administration and patching and keeping servers running and all sorts of stuff like that, and making sure the websites are reporting properly, etc., right? Now I'm going to be doing something completely different. I know very like little coding. I know like a little bit of HTML, a little bit of CSS. I know how websites run, and I've done that on my personal time. But these people are developers. They're making applications and software and all sorts of crazy stuff, and they do a lot of scripting and stuff, right? So I'm gonna have to learn a lot about that whole world of things. But basically, when you go to Honor Guard, which she is going to Honor Guard, you go there for 6 months, and then you come back, and usually you kind of just continue where you left off. So the thing is, though, is with this team, right? the reason they're pulling me is because dev and ops work together. That's the whole DevOps environment that kind of gets things up and going. And so they can't just pull some random person to fill that position, which is in turn why they pulled her in the first place like a year ago, because she was an operator, and it's very beneficial for her to work on that other side of the spectrum and understand the development behind what we're operating. And so that's kind of why I got picked for it, and I'm actually really excited for it. It's definitely a lot more work because server administration is maintenance, and so we wait for things to break. And so if nothing is broken, I mean, I have a lot of downtime during the day is what I'm trying to get at. And when you're developing something, you don't have a lot of downtime because you're literally developing something, you know what I mean? So not only that, but I don't know the languages that we use. I don't really know Linux that well, and so I have a lot to brush up on. Luckily, like I said, I know HTML and CSS, and so I kind of have an understanding of code in some sort of way. It's not completely new to me, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't want to drag this video on forever, but basically my job for the next 6 months, and potentially, like, they might keep me in 6 months. They might be like, well, there's no point in sending him back and then keeping you here or whatever, because blah 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 blah. Leadership can do that, and it happens all the time where you just do what you're told. And there in the military, you just have to do what you're told. You have to roll with the changes and do it. And they're like, if I was a bad sport, I could go to my supervisor and go to my leadership and be like, I don't want to do this. I wish you guys wouldn't have pulled me and picked me for this position, and that's not something that I'm interested in. I could say that, but at the end of the day, they could tell me like, hey, this is something that you have to do, whether you like it or not. You're in the military, so deal with it. But I mean, I don't know if they would do that, but that's kind of the concept. And so I'm excited for the new challenge and all sorts of stuff like that. But they might keep me, who knows? So I don't really want them to keep me because I like being a server administrator. Programming is cool, but I don't know. So actually, this is good for me in YouTube though, because at the end of this 6 months, or even in the middle of the 6 months or whatever, if you want to become a programmer in the Air Force and you have questions, I am literally working with programmers every single day now. And so now I have that whole wide part of the IT spectrum in the 3D career field for answering your questions. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Please leave your ship dates and any questions that you may have down below. And also in the description, there is links to my artwork outside of the Air Force and stuff like that. I'm an illustrator, a graphic designer, and a photographer. And so my Instagram is down there, @BHandsonDribble, and all social media that is art related is linked down there, and I really appreciate it if you went and followed that. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on this channel so that you can be updated when I do upload videos that are Air Force related. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this, just let me know. I am still learning a lot. I wish that I could get more in depth with this, because when it comes to server administration, it's very specific to the websites that we run. But with developing and stuff, it's very like you can ask me like, oh, what languages are you gonna learn, and what software are you using to code, or whatever it may be, right? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. So anyways, again, thank you so much for watching, and peace out.